So, how are weight and mortality related anyway? A 2005 study by Dr. Catherine Flegel attempted to answer this. Basically, Dr. Flegel looked at mortality data from 1971 to 2002. She estimated relative risks for each BMI category to include covariates like gender, race, ethnicity, alcohol consumption, and smoking status. So basically, with all of those things considered, if being fat was the huge thing that caused mortality, we would expect to see a linear curve, where as weight goes up, then mortality goes up. But what Flegel found is a J-shaped curve, where actually people who were in the overweight BMI category had the lowest mortality rates. The Flegel study is flawed, and I don't live and die by it by any means, but I do think it's evidence that shows that the narrative we've been told about weight and mortality isn't true. A dangerous assumption of research on fat people is that fat people are a homogeneous group. That is why this 2015 cluster analysis of fat people that I'm going to summarize is so important. Basically, they looked at a large sample of fat people and they defined groups based on who shared common characteristics. They found evidence to support 6 distinct groups of fat people, and there were different health outcomes for each group. Interestingly, the group with the worst health outcomes were middle-aged women who also had mental health issues and low self-esteem. Interestingly, this group had healthy levels of physical activity and low alcohol consumption, but also engaged in dieting behaviors. There are a lot of interesting takeaways from this article, but I think one of the most important pieces is this reminder that not all fat people are the same. Group differences have an impact on health.
Obesity and mortality are related because obesity can increase the risk of developing various health problems, including cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and certain types of cancer. These health problems can increase the risk of premature death. Studies have consistently shown that obesity is associated with increased mortality rates. For example, a study published in The Lancet found that obesity was associated with a 31% increased risk of all-cause mortality compared to people of normal weight. Another study published in JAMA found that obesity was associated with an increased risk of death from heart disease, cancer, respiratory disease, and other causes. There are several mechanisms through which obesity can increase mortality risk. For example, obesity can increase the risk of developing conditions such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes, which can contribute to cardiovascular disease and other health problems. Obesity can also increase inflammation in the body, which can contribute to the development of chronic diseases. It's important to note, however, that obesity is a complex issue and that there are many factors that can contribute to an individual's risk of developing health problems and premature death. Additionally, the relationship between obesity and mortality is not necessarily straightforward, and there are many other factors that can affect an individual's health and mortality risk, including genetics, lifestyle factors, and access to healthcare.
100%. 100%. I'm not joking.
Body shaming and fat phobia are equally harmful because they both contribute to negative attitudes towards individuals based on their physical appearance. Both of these attitudes can lead to negative outcomes, such as social exclusion, discrimination, and low self-esteem, and can have a significant impact on an individual's mental health and overall well-being. Body shaming can refer to negative comments or judgments about any aspect of a person's physical appearance, including weight, height, skin color, and other perceived physical flaws. These negative comments and judgments can cause significant harm, leading to feelings of shame, embarrassment, and low self-esteem. Fat phobia, specifically, refers to negative attitudes and prejudices towards individuals who are overweight or obese. Fat phobia can lead to social exclusion, employment discrimination, and reduced access to healthcare and other services. Fat phobia can also contribute to negative body image, disordered eating behaviors, and poor mental health outcomes. Both body shaming and fat phobia can contribute to a culture that values certain body types over others and promotes unrealistic and unhealthy beauty standards. This can perpetuate social inequalities, as those who do not conform to society's narrow beauty standards may be subjected to discrimination and other negative outcomes. In contrast, promoting body positivity and acceptance can have a range of positive outcomes, including improved self-esteem, mental health, and overall well-being. By celebrating diversity in body size, shape, and appearance, we can create a more inclusive and accepting society that values individuals for who they are, rather than what they look like.
Hey, I was just doing something. I was making a sandwich, and it got me thinking about when I was on a weight loss journey, and I was like watching my calories like crazy, and I was like going as far as like taking a piece of cheese and cutting it in half if I made a sandwich, right? And just now I made a sandwich, and look at this, full piece of cheese, right? And then that made me think, like, to the people who have a problem with my body and the way that my body looks. If the difference in how you treat me as a human being is a half a slice of cheese, you can go to hell.
Trying to lose weight and watching your calories is not necessarily bad because maintaining a healthy weight can have many benefits, including reducing the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. However, it's important to approach weight loss in a healthy and sustainable way that focuses on making long-term lifestyle changes rather than short-term crash diets or extreme calorie restriction. While there are some risks associated with weight loss, such as the potential for nutrient deficiencies or disordered eating behaviors, these risks can be minimized by working with a qualified healthcare professional, such as a registered dietitian or physician, who can provide guidance and support throughout the weight loss process. It's important to note that weight loss is not necessary or appropriate for everyone, and that a person's overall health is determined by many factors beyond just their weight or body size. It's also important to recognize that weight stigma and discrimination can have harmful effects on mental and physical health, and that weight loss should never be pursued at the expense of a person's overall well-being or self-esteem. Ultimately, the decision to try to lose weight or watch your calories should be based on individual goals, preferences, and health status, and should be done in a way that is safe, sustainable, and supportive of overall health and well-being. Working with a qualified healthcare professional can help ensure that any weight loss efforts are done in a healthy and safe manner.
I was just complimented for weight loss. Let's talk about it. So if you don't know me, my name is Molly Goodman. I am a life coach, and one day I plan to be a licensed professional counselor. I am somebody that fully believes in body autonomy, as well as fat liberation, body neutrality, body acceptance, intuitive eating, anti-diet culture. You get the point. So I was out at Trader Joe's doing my weekly normal shopping routine, and I got approached by an older woman who was in sort of a rascal scooter wheelchair, and she tapped me on the arm. Now, at first I thought maybe she was gonna ask me to grab something off a high shelf for her, so I turned and said hello, and she says, "Do you walk very much?" And I was a little put off, but I said, "Yes." And she said, I've seen you out, and I just have to tell you that you look great, I've noticed." And I was a little confused, and I said, "Okay." And she said, I've seen you around, and I know I just lost 40 pounds myself, so I just wanted to compliment you because I see you out there, and I see that you've lost some weight, and I just wanted to tell you, you look great, and now she looks like a model just walking around here. And so, because this lady was trying to be very kind and obviously thought that she was doing something nice, I laughed and kind of just said thank you and walked away. Now, if I had been at a very different point in my life, I may have taken that compliment and used it as fodder to continue abusing myself through disordered eating. But I'm not there anymore, and I'm really grateful for that. And I want to talk about the feelings that came up because of this interaction. I will not lie, there was a moment when she said that I thought to myself, wow, have I lost weight? Is that a good thing? I wonder what I actually do look like compared to maybe what I looked like the past few months. And that, my friends, is conditioning. That is diet culture conditioning us to always consider weight loss to be something good. I have no idea if I've lost weight. I don't weigh myself. I have no clue. My clothes fit the same. I feel good. I don't know. I have no idea. And that's not really the point. The point is that we just shouldn't be commenting on other people's bodies because we have no idea what's going on in their lives. This woman was very sweet and unassuming, and she thought she was doing something kind. Even if you think you're doing something kind, just err on the side of caution and just don't.
Complimenting someone for achieving weight loss can be problematic for several reasons. First, it reinforces the idea that weight loss is always a positive thing, and that being thinner is always better. This can be harmful because it perpetuates the idea that people need to conform to a certain body type or size in order to be valued or respected, and can contribute to negative body image and low self-esteem. Additionally, complimenting someone for weight loss can send the message that their worth or value is tied to their appearance, rather than their personality, skills, or achievements. This can contribute to a culture that places undue emphasis on physical appearance and can make people feel objectified or judged based on their weight or body size. Finally, complimenting someone for weight loss can be triggering or upsetting for individuals who may be struggling with disordered eating or body dysmorphia. It can also contribute to unhealthy weight loss behaviors, such as crash dieting or excessive exercise, which can have negative effects on physical and mental health. Instead of complimenting someone for weight loss, it's better to focus on their overall health and well-being, and to celebrate their achievements and successes in a way that is supportive and inclusive. This can include complimenting them on their hard work or dedication to their health, or expressing admiration for their talents, skills, or other positive qualities. Ultimately, it's important to value people for who they are, rather than what they look like, and to promote a culture of body acceptance and self-love.